Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. My partner Kristen Oaks-White will join us a little bit later in the show. When you think of soybeans, you may think of edamame or soy sauce, but soybeans find their way into a vast array of products we use every day, like plastics, biodiesel, and cereals. Louisiana farmers grow more than 1 million acres of the crop. TWILA's Karl Wiggers takes us to Franklin Parish, where this year's harvest looks dramatically different than last.
This time last year, farmers in Franklin Parish were not excited to harvest the rotten soybeans in their field. This year, the struggle is not too much rain, but rather not enough. Roy Ely is one of those farmers who was really hoping for a better crop this year.
We have a decent crop this year, but it got so hot and so dry late. I guess every farmer too hot one year, too wet the next. But so hot and so late that we're having a lot of flat beans, or the beans are small in size, and so we're going to have a mediocre crop this year when we needed a good one to make up for last year just because of heat and drought.
Andy Brown is the National Affairs Coordinator for Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. He says visits to the farm like this one are important for him to carry the farmer's story to D.C. as he works on relief programs for farmers like Ely.
It's kind of a checkpoint for me to come up here and check on Roy and the crop here, just to remind myself to keep pushing on what we're working on from last year, which is still how do we make crop insurance not just work in a drought scenario, but work in a excessive rain and a quality scenario.
For many farmers who had major damage to their crops, the crop insurance they had did not help bridge the gap remaining after selling their crop for much less than the market value.
There were a lot of farmers like me that didn't get to sell the crop for what it was worth, even though they made a crop, and insurance doesn't cover that. And trying to get some assistance, whether it be in disaster aid or insurance or wherever that may be, we just need some help to make up the shortcoming.
The products that they're purchasing do a pretty good job of covering yield loss, but what we saw last year is when quality comes into play, the farmer takes it on the chin and is kind of left out to dry.
I received $0 in insurance payment on my soybeans last year. Zero that I had fully insured.
Fully insured means nothing when the policy does not account for losses due to quality of the crop.
The problem comes in is when we have a product of lesser quality where we don't get the dollar amount value for it. And it's kind of like have 10 cakes to sell, but they don't taste good, so nobody won't give you the full price. I still had them. They're still there to sell, but nobody wants to buy them because they're not good enough, and if they do, they give you a discounted cost associated with that.
While that could seem too simplified when talking about a complex insurance program, those are the messages that Brown and Louisiana Farm Bureau are taking to Capitol Hill. Congress did pass legislation last fall for a disaster program, but Brown says that is only part of the story.
And then it takes a whole lot of work and unfortunately way too much time at USDA for them to roll out this program. That was kind of the deal we took at the end of 2022 is, okay, well, we want a single year and this pot of money, if you can get it out faster. It's frustrating for these guys, and not just frustrating, it's nerve-wracking. Their livelihood and their bank loan depends on that, and they get told it's coming and they gotta try to farm through it until it shows up.
I have to remain profitable in order to survive this industry. It don't matter if you're farming or anything else. The difference is in farming, this is a very expensive business, and we have to handle a lot of money and maintain a tight margin in order to survive. Even though we handle a lot of money, what falls out the bottom is a very small amount. So we have to be diligent to maintain so that we are profitable, so that I can pass this on for future generations.
Louisiana's soybean crop is currently about halfway through the harvest, and they should be wrapping up pretty quickly since farmers are completely done with corn harvest now. As for the disaster assistance package that Congress passed last year, that money has yet to reach farmers like Roy Ely and Avery. I went on this trip a year ago almost, 9 months ago, with soybean farmers that were drastically impacted by, all this rot, and we did stories on it last year. Those guys are still out planting crops, just like Roy in the story. They're out still planting crops, they're still working, they're still, sowing seeds to put food on our tables, and having Congress passing money and then it not making its way to these farmers is really tough because they just want to stay in business. They don't want to get rich. They're just trying to stay in business so they can keep doing what they love.
Yeah, you would think that after all these ad hoc disasters, passed by Congress that USDA, that Congress, that someone on the federal government side would streamline this process. It's not like they don't have practice.
Every year it feels like the same thing, and I spoke with Andy about this while we were out on the road, and he says every year since he's been here, since I've been here, we've had a disaster program of some sort, and yes, you would think it's gotten better, but every single one of them is different. They have to tweak certain things every time. They can't just, you know, change the dates on things and say, all right, let's go with that. They have to be tweaked. And what Andy says is, it's government. Like that's kind of what we have to deal with sometimes. So we need to get it fixed, though. We need to get it straightened up. We need to get money in these guys' hands because they've still got to get bank loans year after year to make sure that they can keep putting food on our tables.
Yep, you and I still need to eat. Thank you very much, Karl Wiggers. Well, in 2021, nearly 20 out of every 100,000 workers involved in agriculture, forestry, fishing, or hunting died due to an industry-related accident or illness. That's according to the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics. Farming continues to be one of the most dangerous occupations in the country. That's why September 17th through the 23rd is designated as National Farm Safety and Health Week. The overall theme this year is No One Can Take Your Place. Organizers have set a focus for each day of Farm Safety and Health Week. Monday, September 18th has the focus of equipment and rural roadway safety. For Tuesday the 19th, the focus is health and wellness. Wednesday's focus is priority populations. Thursday, the 21st, has the focus of confined spaces. Be thinking of grain bins on that one. And brain health is the focus for Friday, September 22nd. The Louisiana Farm Bureau podcast has an episode all about farm safety and health you'll be able to listen to starting on Monday the 18th. Now, if you already are a subscriber to the Louisiana Farm Bureau podcast, you'll get a notification when it's released. For those of you who have yet to subscribe, we'll put a link to the podcast with this story on social media and on our website at twilatv.org. This week, we're beginning a new segment here on TWILA called Label Lessons. Since September is National Rice Month, we're starting with the staple so many of us enjoy here in Louisiana. LSU AgCenter Registered Dietitian Jennifer Duhan gives us our first label lesson on rice.
Hey everyone, I'm Jennifer Duhan, Registered Dietitian and Area Nutrition Agent for the LSU AgCenter. Today we're in Opelousas, Louisiana at Benny's Supermarket, and we're celebrating Rice Month. So come with me as we shop for rice to cook tonight. Have you ever entered the grocery store and wondered, what am I going to cook tonight? Well, how about rice? Rice is one of our Louisiana staples, and it's extremely nutritious. It is packed with B vitamins such as riboflavin and niacin. It's also a complex carbohydrate, and it's one of the most allergy-friendly grains out in the market. Rice is only about 100 calories per serving, and again, it's going to fit into many of your meals at only costing about 10 cents per serving. So let's talk about one of those myths, to wash or not wash your rice. Well, it's really up to you, the preference that you choose. When washing your rice, you will remove some of the enrichment. Most of our rices will have enriched on the label, and that means that it's going to have some vitamins and minerals added. One of those including iron. Now also, when you wash your rice, you can reduce some of the starch content. It's not going to change much with the nutritional value, but it will change or add maybe a little bit lighter texture or even fluffier variety of rice. So again, your preference. But when shopping for rice, we really hope that you can use these tips next time you're in the grocery store.
Each week, we'll unpack some of the labels you see on your food packages. If you have a question about a label or a phrase you've seen on your food, head over to our website at twilatv.org and share it with us. We'll try to get your questions answered on a future segment. If you are a teacher who has ever tried teaching about food in your classroom, your starting point should be the Louisiana Ag in the Classroom program. In fact, it's great if you're just looking for activities for your children to learn about agriculture. On the AITC website, there is a wealth of resources for you to use to incorporate agriculture into your class. From lesson plans to hands-on activities, resources are designed to make teachers' jobs easier. Another valuable way the Louisiana Ag in the Classroom program is equipping teachers is with fall workshops across the state. Workshops began this week in Winsboro at Franklin Academy. The next one is Thursday, September 21st in Brobridge. Registration for that one is closed, but there are still more that you can attend. On Monday, September 25th, Platt Elementary School in Houghton will host a workshop. The next day, Tuesday, September 26th, there will be a workshop in Manny at the Sabine Parish Executive Office Campus Conference Center. Teachers in Oak Grove can attend a workshop on October 3rd at Main Street Medical Aesthetics and Company. On Wednesday, October 11th, the Vermilion Parish Farm Bureau office will host a workshop for teachers in and around Abbeville. The final workshop in Lafayette is scheduled for Monday, October 16th at the Lafayette Parish Farm Bureau office. At each workshop, the Ag in the Classroom staff and volunteers will demonstrate a few lessons and activities that are good for students at all grade levels. Also, each workshop includes a meal, and you'll leave with a whole bunch of great resources and ideas. Registration for the workshop is free, but you must register ahead of time. That's just to make sure we have enough food and supplies for everyone. To find that registration link and more resources from the Louisiana Ag in the Classroom program, head over to our website at twilatv.org. Still to come on TWILA, we're going to head over to a rice mill and see what it takes to get rice from the field to your plate. Stay with us. National Rice Month may be in September, but you can enjoy rice all year long, right? In this edition of Feasting on Agriculture, TWILA's Kristen Oaks-White takes us to the rice capital of Crowley to show us all the hard work that happens to bring rice to your table.
I'm Kristen Oaks-White, and welcome to Feasting on Agriculture. This month in September, we're celebrating National Rice Month, and we're here in the rice capital of the world, Crowley, Louisiana, at Supreme Rice Mill, where they are the state's largest rice milling operation, where each year they produce 1.5 billion pounds of rice.
Feasting on Agriculture with Kristen Oaks-White is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
Kristen, welcome to Supreme Rice in Crowley, Louisiana. This is the home of our corporate location where we pack the majority of the small pack rice for our grocery stores within the United States.
My name is Henry Hilo, and I'm the sales director for Supreme Rice. Today we're at the headquarters of Supreme Rice, and we'll be taking a tour of the operations across the street. You'll look at some of the milling processes. You also look at our packing line and how we pack our rice, and then how we store it and distribute it.
And you see all these hoppers right here? When the rice comes off of the mill, it's fed into here, and it's being held waiting for orders to come through. So we can have long grain, medium grain, and jasmine. And depending on the work orders that come through, they'll dump it onto the conveyor belt, and then it'll feed up through a series of magnets and color sorters before it goes over to packing on that side. So this is a sew line right here. We call it a sew line because you can actually see they're sewing the tops of the bags.
Ah, okay.
And we've tried to do this mechanically, but it is more efficient having people work the actual sewing. Our production is better, which is good.
We source our rice from all of the local farmers within the region, especially rice that's packaged in the Supreme brand packaging.
Okay, and so most of the rice is coming from, Southwest Louisiana.
Yeah, anything that you see on the shelves, that Supreme brand, is coming from Louisiana farmers. And we want it that way. We have a strong partnership with our farmers here, and we want to make sure their product is represented on the shelf.
A lot of grocery stores that have more of a warehouse type feel to them, they do big bulk, where you can go in and buy stuff from bins. We'll hand load these with 10-pound and 20-pound bags of rice, and we'll deliver these to the stores.
Okay.
And we do hundreds of these a year. So we do a full pallet, a half pallet, and then a quarter pallet. The smallest grocery stores like the smaller pallets because they just don't have a lot of room, especially in the New Orleans market. Some of those stores are really small.
So when you're in the grocery store and you're looking at buying rice, you want to hold the bag, and you want to look at the bag and look at the grains of rice to see if there are any imperfections. Typically, a great rice will be smooth and white and not have many imperfections within the grain itself. So look for dark spots, look for lines, look for dark kernels amongst the rice. And the lower number of those three things that you see typically lend it to be a better grain of rice.
This is all Kirkland brand. that we're packing right now.
Okay.
And as it comes off, this laser will shoot the lot number, the Best Buy date, and any other information that Costco will want to put on the bag.
So this is going to Costco.
It's going to Costco.
Costco, okay.
Yeah, we package 100% of Costco.
And Kirkland is their specific.
Kirkland is their brand. That is correct.
Okay.
Kirkland is their brand. We have very strict controls here. Nobody in and out of the cage when these machines are running.
So is there one variety that is you guys' top seller?
Probably we sell more long grain than anything. When you look at the region within Louisiana, it's a large medium grain market. And a lot of people eat medium grain here, but once you get out of the Louisiana, Texas, even Mississippi market to a certain extent, long grain takes over. So that is the #1 consumed rice in the United States.
So what you see behind me are color sorters. So as the rice comes out of the mill, it goes into storage tanks. And before it goes to packing, we run it through these color sorters one last time. And all that is in an effort to bring the best quality rice to the table and to the grocery stores. A stream of rice will flow down, and there's optical eyes that pick up any imperfections in the rice, and air, microbursts of air will blow out any bagged grains. Now at this point, all the milling's been done. This is beautiful white rice before it comes to this point, but it's just one last effort on just making sure it's perfect before we pack it.
In my hand, I've got the final product, a bag of supreme rice, and we're taking this bag over to Visos Seafood and Steakhouse, where we're gonna whip up some classic Louisiana cuisine dishes when we get back from the break. Stay with us. Now we're back to celebrate National Rice Month the best way possible, and that's sampling some of this rice grown right here in Southwest Louisiana. And we're here at a staple of Crowley cuisine. And if you ask anybody what the best restaurant is in Crowley, they often say Visos. And we're here with General Manager Josh. And Josh, tell us a little bit about these 3 dishes that you have picked that are kind of y'all's cornerstone rice dishes that people always ask for.
So we have the one of the traditional around is our red beans and rice with sausage. There too, it's got some local in it. You know, it's got the supreme rice in it, and the sausage is made right here in Iota down the road from us. Then we have the crawfish etouffee, and there too, it's got 2 local favorites in it, supreme rice, and our crawfish comes right out of Iota. It's all products that, you know, here in Louisiana. And then you have your traditional, you know, jambalaya that, you know, we serve, and you know, rice is our key around here.
And it's such a cornerstone of so many Louisiana dishes. Why is it important for y'all to serve local rice?
Well, you know, we got to support our farmers here, because farming in our area that's our way of life, you know.
Right.
So the more we support them, the more they're going to support us as well as our community. You know, we're known here as the rice capital of the world right here in Crowley. We have the International Rice Festival here. You know, so we want to push rice and we want to push our local. And Supreme has always been good to us, and you know, we actually use their rice on a daily basis, and we actually pick up at their facility.
I'm guessing that lunchtime here, you've got a lot of rice farmers that come in when they're not harvesting,
yes,
to come in
definitely,
and eat a meal here.
Yes.
Tell me your favorite dish.
My favorite dish, sitting right here on this table, would be the crawfish etouffee. Crawfish is, like I say, is one of my favorites. And when you put it on fresh, fluffy rice, it's the best.
This might be the best red beans and rice I've had, and I think that mine's pretty good that I make.
It's got a good
this
dark
is
red.
awesome.
We cook approximately right here at our Crowley restaurant. We cook about 400 pounds of rice a week.
Wow.
It's a lot of rice.
Yes, lots of rice.
Well, it supports the local community, and we know, a lot of times when you use big, distributors, you don't really know where they're sourcing their food from. I mean, here, you're getting stuff that's American made.
You don't have to ask before you eat, because you already know.
Right.
Well, let's try your favorite dish. If you can't tell, I did not eat breakfast this morning,
I
this
did
is.
not either.
But our crawfish etouffee is one of the crowd favorites around here. We do sell a lot of it.
And one bite, I can easily tell why. I will say that I've heard a lot about this restaurant
before coming here, and your reputation precedes you because all three have been a hit.
Well, good. Well, thank you very much.
Well, we've had so much fun today here in Crowley, Louisiana, celebrating National Rice Month. Thank you for showcasing the mill and showing us how everything works there. And thank you for these delicious rice dishes. They are wonderful. If you want to learn more about Supreme Rice or Visos Restaurant, you can find a link on our website at twilatv.org. Until next time, thanks for joining us on Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with Kristen Oaks-White was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
While there is a month and day for everything, there isn't always a scholarship to go along with it. It's always nice when there's money. Well, September is National Rice Month. Both the USA Rice Federation and U.S. Rice Producers Association have scholarship opportunities available to students who want to further their educations. In today's TWILA Boost, we take a look at one of last year's winning videos.
Oh, I love rice. Yes, indeed.
Hey guys, do you know where all of that rice came from?
Do you know? No, William, I don't know.
Okay, let's go find out. In 1904, William Fuller became one of the first people to actually grow rice on his farm in Arkansas, and by 1910, mills were established all over the state. Today, there are 6 major places in which rice is grown in the United States, including California, Texas, Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi.
Oh hey, you're just in time. I was just about to make some rice. Did you know that in 2021, the United States produced almost 200 million hundredweight of rice? And of that, almost half of it was from Arkansas. Go Hogs. The U.S. rice industry is actually super profitable too. Every year, it adds about $18 billion to the U.S. economy, including about 125,000 jobs worldwide. Is that foreign-grown rice? Apart from being profitable, rice is actually pretty good for you. In 2021, Americans ate 4.6 million metric tons of rice. That's nothing compared to the world scale. Estimates show that over half of the world's population is fed by rice. And now it's time for my favorite use of rice.
Before working out, carving up on a cup or two of rice gives me the energy to move weight way easier than before.
Whoa. That was cool. Yeah, I know, right? I'm so glad I finally understand how important rice is to the U.S. economy and to the world.
I am glad that you too learned something today.
Wait. Who are you actually?
Well, I am
rice!
If you know of a high school senior interested in participating in one or both of these scholarship opportunities, head over to our website at twilatv.org. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when we are going to focus on safety on the farm for National Farm Safety and Health Week. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and you'll find all of these stories and more on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. That way you know when we put something new out there. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.